chapter 2, it goes into when the disciples, the Holy Spirit fell on them, right? What happened? Okay, I'm going to ask you before I read. What happened when they were speaking in tongues? What happened soon after that, if you remember?
Speaking in tongues, and everyone around them heard their own language.
Exactly. Okay. Who are those people?
They're the Jews at the moment.
But the Jews from where?
They're Israelites.
Everywhere. But yeah, they're Israelites, but they were from all these different lands. Acts chapter 2 and verse 7. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born? Parthians, Medes, Elamites, and dwellers of Mesopotamia, and in Judea, and Cappadocia, and Pontus, and Asia, Phrygia, and Pamphylia, and Egypt, and in the parts of Libya, and about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome. So it went all the way up towards the Romans. Jews and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongues the wonder works of the Most High. And they were all amazed and were in doubt, saying one to another, What meaneth this? Others mocking said, These men are full of new wine. Because these group of people, they knew to go to Israel for specific things they couldn't do in their land. They knew they had to take a journey and go to Israel, Jerusalem, for specific things. You understand? Like Passover, for instance, the Passover. They would go to the temple and they would do certain things, worship or whatever it was that they were doing. So these groups of people, they weren't just there. They weren't just there for no reason. Like these people were right there in verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. So going back to the book of Galatians, Ephesus, Ephesians, Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, those were all Israelite people in these regions of land. They were known as Thessalonians or Ephesians or whatever, Romans. Like Paul was a Roman, right? By nature, by his how do you say it? Not by his true nationality, but by what man deemed him as, because whatever their land that they ruled. So Paul was a Roman, but his heritage went back to an Israelite, because he breaks it down to him. You know that in the book of Romans or Acts, he breaks it down to him when he's declaring who he comes from. But he also claimed Roman citizenship when they were trying to kill him, right? So he was like, hey, I'm a Roman. That's not the way y'all do things. Y'all got to have me appear before the Senate or the court before Caesar. So that's where he took shelter when he gave himself over to the Roman centurions, because of the Israelites they were trying to kill him, the Jews, right? The Pharisees. Okay, so he had to protect himself from his own people, but he claimed Roman citizenship. But he was a Roman by natural heritage. No, he was an Israelite. So you said that the Jews, but then the Gentiles. But you have to understand who the Gentiles are, and I've conveyed it to you. The Gentiles are Israelites. So in Acts 2, this is Isaiah 11 and 12, and he shall set up an ensign. I'll start at verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day, so this is prophecy, that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. Who are the remnant? Israelites. The word remnant means a small group of people. It's like not everybody is part of Wells Fargo's management. You know what I'm saying? Like the CEOs, you got these groups of people that nobody else is going to be involved. You can't have a lower class individual come up there and take part of that seating. So there's a specific group of people, remnant, or an elect, a chosen, that is destined or promised, predestined from the foundations of the earth to receive the promises. It's not other people. Other people can't, that are not natural, that don't come from the loins of Jacob, cannot be grafted in. And in Romans chapter 11, it goes into the wild olive tree, that this is going to be grafted in. And that's not talking about other nations. It's talking about what was lost, what was broken off. Some are going to receive mercy and be grafted back in, because you know, you can save a tree, you can save a part of a limb. All you got to do is splice it. You cut around the edges, however, you know, depending on how tender it is, you can graft it back in. All you have to do is cut it, and you put it back in. You bind it up like a wound, and it seals itself back up. That's what that's referring to. You can't put a peach tree with the apple tree. That's an abomination. You can't do that. So somebody can be smart and be like, oh, well, I can get a strawberry branch and put it with the pecan tree, or like some form of a different vegetation, not a tree, but like a plant. You can't. You do that, it's an abomination. It's corrupt. You're taken away from what it's originally designed to do. You can't mingle it, even though, because you think in your mind that it's okay, that don't mean it's okay with the Most High. The Most High didn't set it up that way. If He did, that's confusion. That's backwards. Everything is specifically grown in its own way, with its own group. It's seed. You don't mingle the seeds with apples and strawberries or tomatoes. No, you divide them all in their proper, however you have it set up. You let them grow, and that's it. So Isaiah 11 and 11, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel. So the outcasts are who you would call, or another word you would say is Gentile. The outcasts are Israelites. But I mean, you're gonna believe in what you want, man. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, my job is to correct whether you hear or forbear, meaning that whether you believe or don't believe, that's on you. But at the end, again, the Lord was sent to save His people, the Israelites, which it's not about color. It's about, if you believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which is the true names of the Most High and the Son, in the Paleo Hebrew, not the Yiddish, not Yeshua, not Yahweh, none of that stuff. That's Yiddish. Yiddish is a compilation of different languages that the people in Israel speak. Those are not the true people of the Lord. The true people of the Lord are these people on the sign, because we fit the curses. We've been dispersed to the four corners of the earth. And the Balfour Declaration, which was set up in 1940, whatever, that sent those people over there to that land, that was all set up by the government for their own agenda. That was all. That's a blatant lie. Those people are not the Lord's people over there. I'm not saying there's not some in there. There is some in there, but the bulk of them are not. They're not Israelites. This is Revelations.
Well, we can always pray for each other.
This is Revelations 2 and 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, because these people, we're the only people that fit this curse. Like I said in Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68, that fit these curses on how to identify the people of the Most High. Okay, those people over there in Israel, which the so-called whites here in America, they believe in Israel. They believe that the so-called whites here are going to be destroyed. They don't believe, but not y'all, but the so-called whites and the Jews, they come from the same stock. Even though because those people don't want to believe it, doesn't mean that it's true or that it's not true. Because the so-called Caucasians here in America fit the same stock as those people over there. They just come from a different son, Amalek. But the so-called whites, and I'm not referring to you because you could be, I don't know. But you're not bucking up. You're not getting pissed. You're not getting mad. You're not showing what a heathen would, or what a so-called white man would, with showing aggression and stuff like that. Because, like I said, there's certain characteristics of an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? But these people right here, man, I'm gonna read it. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, because these people gone through hell. Gone through hell. When you look into the history of these people, have gone through hell. Captivity from captivity, captivity after captivity. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. How are we rich? Faith, not material gain, not by the family tree as far as how I come from, my dad and his dad. None of that. It's about your faith. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Now today in our time, who still uses that word synagogue? The Jews over there, the Jewish. I'm not gonna say Jews, Jewish. What does ish mean? Not so quite. Ish. So you got to understand words. You got to understand the prefixes and the suffixes of certain things, because there's spiritual things behind words. Words have vibrations. And there's some people that they don't realize that they're giving themselves over. They're blinded, but because of a certain word or a certain whatever they're doing has revealed them who they are. Those people have revealed themselves. They know they're not Israelites. Although they claim they come from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, but they don't ever mention all the other tribes. They always say, I come from Judah, Yehuda, or however they say it, or Benjamin. But they don't ever mention Simeon, Zebulon, Gad. Why? Because they don't know. They're just trying to take the top tribes. They're trying to make themselves as the top people, which they're not the top people. They're the synagogue of Satan. They have a book called the Talmud, the Babylonian Talmud, that they don't believe in the Bible. They just hold it for looks. But the book they really believe in and read is the Babylonian Talmud. And it condones homosexuality, it condones pedophilia, it condones murder. Look into it, man. This is real. You got synagogues here, you got Freemasonry building over here. They don't use it no more. You got the Freemason lodges you got Freemasons here in San Angelo. You got Jews here and Jewish people here in San Angelo. They got the synagogue over there on Biergard. You got these streets named after these fake Jews. Sol Ross. So you go into the library. I remember maybe I want to say 6 months ago in the library right here, they had a little bulletin board with pictures of history of San Angelo. And you got Sol Ross. He was an actual man. Sol Ross Street over there. You heard of it? So. Okay. Well, there's a street that's named after Sol Ross. Sol Ross, he had a Native American Indian boy. I read it, but I don't remember how he even got the little boy. But the little boy grew up. I don't even know. Nobody knows what happened to the little boy. Why? Because they were here in San Angelo, in this land. You know who was here before the so-called Europeans came? Indians. Humano Indians. They were driven out. Why? To drive somebody out, what do? You don't just tell them to leave. Yeah. There's war. There's war. You're taking spoils, and people are spoils. Children, women, you take them, right? You claim them as property. So that, like I said, that's the history of San Angelo. San Angelo, all downtown right here was nothing but prostitution. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, those Jews over there in Israel, they say these Jewish people, they're not the Israelites, man. These people on the Sinai, we are the true people of the Most High. The Negro Latinos and Native American Indians. The tribe of Gad, the word Gad means troop. Who overcame Gad? Who overcame the Native American Indians? Who destroyed the Native American Indians?
The English.
The cavalry, the army, which they were also known as troops. Today they're also known as troops. You see? But it's ironic because Gad, his name means troop. Because at the end, he's going to overcome them. This time. Not right now, but when the Most High gives the green light, when all hell breaks loose, and it's getting closer. You got the COVID-19 shutting down things. They're using it as a footstool to gain world dominance. And I'm talking about these higher elites, which the Bible refers to them as Edomites. They come from the father Esau, because Esau was given the fatness of the earth, but he was gonna rule by what? A sword. And what does that sword represent today? The gun, or the ICBM missiles, technology. You understand? You don't believe in that, man? You don't believe that's true? You don't believe that's true?
Sure.
It's true, man. But anyways, I'm pretty sure you gotta go, man. I just wanted to, give you something to think about. My job is to defend the gospel. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to fight, argue with nobody. You know what I mean?
It's nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if you gotta go, man. If you want to stay, stick around. It's up to you. Ain't no thing. But
we'll pray for each other.
All right, man. All right then.
Thank you.
Yeah, take it easy. I want to bring out a scripture then real quick in Genesis 49:1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. All right. So Jacob, which is the son of was it Isaac, had 12 sons. Well, had his sons, right? Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Zebulun, Issachar, Dan, Gad, Naphtali, Joseph, and Benjamin. And he gave them, prophecy. He was speaking to them their blessings that they were going to receive. Okay? And I'm going to read that again. Gather yourselves together that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. See? So who's being gathered together today, man? The Negro Latinos and Native American Indians. All right? Which, like I told this individual, man, it's not about color. Because we got brothers, or some brothers may consider me as, I'm not the darkest brother. But, you got so-called brothers that you would consider looking like Caucasians, man. But they're Israelites. Let me get this script real quick. This is Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. See? Israelites, man. Israel's not desired. They're just desired to be used or for entertainment. That's it. They're not desired to seek counsel, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, especially us brothers. It's like I was giving this individual man, the answers that he needed, but he kept referencing back to the Gentiles being any and everybody, man. Not the prospective group of people that the Bible is referring to. That's on the sign, the 12 tribe sign, man. And that's fine. Maybe he'll go and think about it. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But I'm gonna go back to Genesis 49:1 one more time. Gather yourselves together, right? So he said, gather yourselves together, which he bestowed upon them their blessings, what was going to happen to them in the last days. And then Zephaniah 2:1, it says, gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. And that nation is talking about Israel. It's the same people, man. The Lord said he was going to gather the Israelites from the four corners of the earth. Matthew 24:31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. See? And who are the elect? Israel, man. Israelites. This is Isaiah 65:4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee. Thou hast not known me. Right? So Jacob, his servant's sake, and Israel mine elect. Okay? And that's plain, man. You know? But, oh snap. Let me get a... I didn't finish that one. Zephaniah 2:2. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It shall be, ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Right? It's talking about Israelites, man. The Negro Latinos and Native American Indians. And that's just for the elect, though. Because you got wicked ass Israelites. You got wicked Jake. You got wicked so-called Mexicans, Latinos, Native American Indians. You know? Puerto Ricans. You got wicked... There's wicked people amongst the Lord's people, man. You know? Wicked women, wicked children, wicked elderly. You know? It's only for the elect, the meek, the elect. God was stating to this individual, these certain people have a certain spirit about them. It's not just anybody can claim it. Anybody can, you know, just come in. You know, you have to be chosen, man. You have to be called. But these certain individuals, a certain group of people have these characteristics, these attributes, right? And meekness is one. Okay. This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 5. I'll start at verse 4, or chapter 4, verse 25. And there followed him great multitudes of people from Galilee and from Decapolis and from Jerusalem and from Judea and from beyond Jordan. Right? So all these people from the different regions of the land were following Yahushua. Chapter 5, verse 1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. When he was set, his disciples came unto him. He opened his mouth and taught them, saying, right? So all these people that were there, he taught. He spoke to them, which they were all Israelites. And you had enemy amongst them. You had the wicked Pharisees and the scribes. But that's who he came to. He came to his own people. All right? Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. You see? For they shall inherit the earth. Those are promises, man. Those are the covenants that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That were passed down to the 12 sons of Jacob. You know? So all the elect are gathering themselves together right now, man. Jacob spoke it. You know, the prophets spoke it, man. The word is gathering them together. You know, this is not for everybody, man. This is not meant for everybody to believe in or to receive. You know? And I'm going to read a lot of this in the book of Baruch. Okay? But gone. This is let me finish. I'm done with that in Genesis 49. Zephaniah 2. And I'm going to hold on to Matthew 5. Going to the blessings that Israel is going to receive. You know? The meek. You know, they're being gathered together in the last days. So I'm going to start in Baruch 4 and Man, there's a lot on here, but this is Baruch chapter 4 verse 21. Be of good cheer, O my children. Cry unto the Lord, and he shall deliver you from the power of the hand of the enemies. So there's a group of people that are going to be delivered from the hand of their enemies. As I stated to this man, that, you know, the adversaries who had so long taken captive the land, you know, their things that they've cherished. You know, the Israelites, the Ark of the Covenant, they, you know, the Philistines tried to apprehend that, and they got jacked up for taking it. The golden vessels, like what's his name, Nebuchadnezzar's son, you know, had taken the golden vessels and saw the hand of the Lord come appear before him with the writing on the wall. Now I'm gonna come to Baruch 2 and 1, just to show that who are those people. Therefore the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges, and judged Israel, and against our kings, and against the princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah. Okay, so that's who he's speaking about, because they were given into the hand of their enemy. Right, in verse 9, it says, wherefore the Lord watched over us for evil, and the Lord brought it upon us, for the Lord is righteous in all his works, which he hath commanded us. Okay, so going back to Baruch 4 and 22, for my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting our Savior, which is Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, man. Right? To deliver the children of Israel out of the hand of their enemy. Just like he did in the time of Pharaoh. That's a great example, man. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 43. Rejoice, O you nations, which with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. There you go. This is Deuteronomy 33 and 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, a people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency? And thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. See? So going back to Baruch chapter 4, verse 23, for I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but Yahweh will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. That's right. This is John 16 and 20. Verily, verily, I say unto you that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice. Right? The heathens, the other nations, right? Even 2/3 are going to rejoice in seeing, or let me back up a little bit. The other nations, the heathens, are rejoicing at the downfall of Israel. That's why they said, race it, race it. Edom said, race it, race it. So all of the nations, they follow after Esau. Not so much now, you know, you got the Iranians and all them, they do their own thing, but basically Esau's democracy, Western culture, has gone over the whole earth. Okay? Been westernized. They still hold on to certain other their traditions and customs, but basically they're all been westernized. Okay? It says, and ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. A woman, when she is travailed, has sorrow, because her hour is to come. But as soon as she delivered of the child, she remembered no more the anguish for joy that a man is born into the world. And ye now therefore have sorrow, But I will see you again, and your heart shall rejoice, and your joy no man taketh from you. See? Why? Because we're going to ultimately be with Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. When we're caught up in the chariots, Lord willing, I'm part of that number, the elect. That's when we're going to ultimately rejoice. Right now, we rejoice, but that full rejoicing and joy is going to come when we're in the chariot, man. Because right now, we're still in Babylon. We're still in the land of our captivity. We're still witnessing the beginning of sorrows. All these things are just increasing. This COVID-19 thing and everything so-called going back to normal, you know, this is just the beginning of sorrows, man. They're increasing. These birth pangs are increasing. That's all it is. Now we hope, we hasten the day of the Lord. We hope in it, but it's still the Lord's doing. We just know that we're getting that much closer, man. You know, we just know we're getting that much closer, and we can't forget that the Lord's coming back, man. We can't get complacent. You know, we can't be forgetful. Can't be, you know, all those synonyms of being complacent, lackadaisical, indolent, inactive, you know, having an unbelieving heart. We can't have none of that going on. We got to fight, combat against those things, and stay focused on the scriptures, man, on the hope of salvation, on our everlasting power, man, as it stated there in Baruch 4 and 23. For I send you out with mourning and weeping, but Yahweh shall give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Zion has seen your captivity. See, all the other nations have seen the captivity of Israel. Man, they clapped the hand, they shook the head, scoffed, mocked, murdered, robbed, raped. You know, did all these forms of abomination, destroying temples, iconoclasm, whitewashing the images. Okay. Spreading pseudoscience, false doctrine, saying that the Lord is white, a so-called white man. The angels are white. Everything in heaven is white. You know, spreading their white supremacy, their white democracy, the draconian laws. They're doing all these wicked things, man. You know, and it's our job to come and shut that down. You know. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of everlasting life, man. So they're gonna see the deliverance of Israel, and they're gonna see that those were those ones. Just like I was speaking to this individual male, you know, he would appear as to be an Edomite, but you know, he didn't have that. You know, only the Lord really knows, you know, but I can't really say because he wasn't bucking up. He was fixed on that whole Gentile thing, you know. And of course the name, you know, he wasn't acknowledging the name, but it's okay. Even some of our people aren't acknowledging the name, you know. But like I told him, man, you know, it's up to the Lord. The Lord is gonna gather the elect. All we know is the elect are Israelites. That's clear. You know, the elect are Israelites.